The last game of the regular season is in the books. Leafs were in Winnipeg tonight. And kind of like the game against Ottawa, the Leafs statistically were the better team, but lost. Now in Ottawa, they were kind of out of sync, like I said. Tonight they weren't. They deserved the win. They were the better team for the most part, but they lost. Again, that's the way hockey goes sometimes. But they looked good for the most part. They outshot the Jets 36-24, something like that. Winnipeg had to block more than double the shots the Leafs did. Leafs edged them in face-offs, didn't edge them in hits, of course. Both teams' power plays didn't score. And yeah, it was just some, I guess, opportunistic scoring by the Jets that they were able to convert on when they got the opportunities, and it was just kind of the difference in the game. From the outset, the Leafs were the better team in the first period. They seemed to have a little more jump. They were cycling the puck well. They were really creative passing, and the passing was accurate. They moved the puck around really well, and they just looked a lot more with it than the Jets did. And it showed on the scoreboard too, because they went to the first intermission with a 1-0 lead, and it was Pierre Engvall who has been on a bit of a roll since he's been back in the lineup, with 4 goals in his last 5 games, something like that. The Leafs kind of just had it in their own end, and they just started banking it up the left side and kept chipping it up, and eventually it was chipped into the Winnipeg zone, and he kind of skated up into the puck and caught up to it, and then just from the left wing, around the face-off dot, I guess probably it was, wired a low shot past Hellebuck for the 1-0 lead. In the second period, though, the Jets were able to kind of bring things back a little bit. They were the better team to start the second, and it paid off for them right away. They scored, I think, a little over a minute in. One of their lower in the lineup guys, Appleton, and drew even with the Leafs, but the Leafs quickly put that behind them and started to take the game back over again. And yes, I can't remember what time it was, but a little before the halfway point of the second period, I think it was, the Leafs were able to restore their 1-goal lead, and they were working it around the Winnipeg zone a bit, and somebody, I believe, banked it off the boards back to Muzzin at the left point, and he just put a quick shot on net, which Hellebuck got a pad or a glove on or something, but there was a rebound, and Mikheyev, who was involved in the cycle, was kind of on the left wing in the corner, and he, as the shot was going on net, he kind of broke towards the net, and then he had a nice juicy rebound just lying there to be tapped into the net. So 2-1. Yeah, it was still the second period. It was later on after that goal. Opportunistic scoring, like I said. Riley on a bad pinch caused a 2-on-1 break the other way for Winnipeg, and between Scheifele and Connor scored, and that was 2-2 again. And early in the third period, Connor again, he received a pass at the right face-off dot. That was a one-time opportunity, and Campbell got over as quick as he could. It was just a perfectly placed shot that he didn't have a chance on, so it was 3-2. Leafs would pull the goalie late in the game, and ultimately got burned when they couldn't keep the puck in and lost control. And there's the empty net goal. There's the 4-2 loss. Now, the last game of the season is always a weird one, because it's like, does it really matter? Marner didn't play tonight. Adam Brooks pulled into the lineup in his place because they wanted to rest him, because I didn't realize this, but he's among forwards in the NHL. He's the ice time leader on average. They were just giving him a bit of a break before the playoffs. So he was out. And it's kind of one of those games where you go through the motions, you play the game, and you try and play it with integrity, but you also play it with the intention of not getting hurt, right? Because that's the last thing anybody wants, is to get a fucking injury in the last regular season game of the year when it means jack shit, and you ruin your chance to get into a playoff series, right? So that was probably job number 1 in this game, was to just see their lineup make it through without any injuries in that happened, so that was good. Now, in terms of performances, the Engvall, Mikheyev, Kerfoot line was probably the most noticeable on this night. Two of those guys scored, and they just looked fast and in control of the puck and everything. And they were one of the top lines in the Ottawa game, too. I thought they really were the most noticeable. So Tavares, I also thought, had a strong game. The fourth line with the three old men on it, Simmons, Spezza, and Thornton, I thought had they play a heavier game. It's a lot more of a cycle and stuff like that, but I thought they had some good zone time and pressure. On the D, it was Riley made a bad pinch, but overall, like, Brody's been Mr. Steady Eddie back there all year long. Muzzin's been good. Dermott's been solid. They've all been really good. It was just one of those games where Winnipeg took advantage of their chances, and Campbell made some really good stops, and he made them beat him, right? Like, for their goals. So I thought he had a pretty strong game, so I think even though the Leafs lost tonight, they had a good performance. So I don't think anybody's going to be going, oh shit, we lost some momentum because we lost those last two games. It's not like you played like shit or anything, especially tonight against Winnipeg. You were the better team. You should have won, but you didn't. So I think they're just going to be happy. Nobody got injured. They put in a good showing. Let's get ready for Montreal. This will mean nothing, right? So so that's where we sit. And I think it was supposed to start on Thursday, their series, but now I think it's not starting till Thursday. So it's kind of weird with Vancouver having that COVID break. They still have some games left to play. Meanwhile, Boston, Washington, that series is starting tomorrow. And there's still regular season games left to play with Vancouver and whoever they're up against. So it's kind of weird, right? It's been a weird season all around. I can't wait to see how these various series go, and who comes out of each division and how the reseeding goes. So this season overall, my general thoughts was, the whole Canadian division concept was really exciting at first, and it was fun, but playing the same teams over and over again, even though it's a big rival like Montreal and a big rival like Ottawa and stuff like that, it did get kind of stale in the end. It was like, oh, these fucking guys again, these guys again, right? Like, you need that variety of all the other teams in the league to make those matchups special, I think. So it did get tiresome. Now, I think it would have gotten as stale if there were fans in the buildings, because that's what makes some of those rivalry games so special, is being in each building and seeing the fans and how they react and how they have an effect on the game, and it's that adds a whole different element to it. So the fact that they're playing in empty buildings all the time, you don't even know where's this game? I don't fucking know. So I think that would have made it a lot more interesting. So it was cool, but do I want this again next season? Fucking Christ, no. Let's get back to the regular old schedule. Now, if they want to put a couple more Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo games in there for the Leafs and take away the shitty teams, like, I don't care if the Leafs ever play Nashville again or fucking Columbus. Those teams are boring as hell. I don't enjoy watching the Leafs play them. So take them away and give us more rivalry games. That'd be fine. But the whole, you're only playing 6 other teams all year. That's okay if it's the original 6, but this is, we got 31 teams or whatever. So that was kind of my thoughts on that. Now, in terms of the playoffs, like I said, there's a reseeding. So the first 2 rounds of the playoffs are all interdivisional. So Leafs, Habs go, Oilers, Winnipeg go in their division. And then so whoever are the 2 winners of those series, then they'll play against each other to get out of their division. And then once each division has their winner, those 4 teams are reseeded based on their overall regular season record, and then number 1 plays number 4, number 2 plays number 3, and they go ahead that way. So that'll be an interesting little wrinkle to it, because the Leafs would typically just be playing whoever comes out of the Boston, Buffalo, whatever division, right? But they may play Vegas, they may play Tampa, they may play Dallas, or is Dallas in? Dallas didn't make it. They may play St. Louis, you just don't know, right? So that's kind of cool, So I really hope the Leafs do get out of their division, and they should. I mean, they've dominated Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Montreal all season long. There's no reason they should not be able to get out of their own division. So I can't wait to see what happens and who comes out of each division, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I know who's playing in the North. We know who's playing in with the Islanders, Pittsburgh, Boston, Washington. I think Colorado ended up finishing first, so they play St. Louis, and then Minnesota and Vegas go. I think is how that one went. And then the other division with Carolina and Tampa. Oh, it's the Battle of Florida. So Tampa and Florida will be playing each other. And then Carolina and who's the other team that came out of that one? Nashville? Yeah, Carolina and Nashville, I think, is how that one's going. So those are the kind of matchups. There's some interesting matchups, some different ones you don't normally get because they're not in the same divisions normally. Leafs Montreal haven't played in the playoffs since 1979. You've got Tampa and Florida going, the Battle of Florida, right? There's some curious matchups and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how this first round goes and how everything progresses beyond that. And like I said, gets to the reseeding and how that goes. So whether the Leafs win or lose, are bounced early or they make it through, it's going to be an interesting playoff season no matter what, just to watch how it all unfolds and how all the action goes. So can't wait to see it start. I'll be probably tuning in for little bits of games outside of the Leafs games. Like tomorrow, I'll probably just tune in to catch a bit of the Boston Washington game just to see how things are going. As I normally do for playoffs, I'll kind of check in on as many series as I can. I maybe not watch the full games or anything, but like that. But I do like to see what's going on and see kind of what the Leafs might be up against and how those teams are faring. So. Either way, it's exciting. The Leafs finished 6th overall in the league, first in their division. Montreal first round. What more can you ask for? Let's go.